Okay, let's see what great and well thought out questions Troy has.
Would love you to back up some of these statements. Massacred entire tribes. What tribe? Conducted biological warfare. When? Killed off entire regions of Aboriginal people. What region? Invented reasons and crimes. What reasons and crimes? Wars with other countries and forced Aboriginal people to fight. When did we do this? And we are ignoring this despite extensive documentations. What? Documentations prove all these points? This is the real straw man.
Honestly though, it is highly likely that no matter what the answer, it will never be good enough, as those like Troy do not want the answers but only the argument. With such ignorant and nonsensical questions, point them to the following publications, as we cannot spoon-feed these types of people. They will need to be an adult and help themselves and learn a few things about the land they live on. A good place to start for answers to the kinds of questions Troy raised is the 2003 book Whitewash, on Keith Windschotel's fabrication of Aboriginal history. It contains 17 essays by historians that directly address demands for precise evidence, examine primary colonial records and their limitations, including gaps before systematic recording began, and discuss specific incidents, the scale of violence versus disease, and standards of historical documentation. The book engages the same methodological points Troy mentions. What counts as reliable evidence? How official records can underreport events beyond the frontier, and how to assess claims about massacres, resistance, and cultural impacts. It includes references that can be checked in archives and published sources. Furthermore, here is a list of other key scholarly publications that directly engage with and provide sourced answers to the style of questions Troy raises. Specific named incidents or tribes or regions, evidence for violence and massacres, documentation standards, disease versus deliberate acts, and the scale of dispossession. These works focus on primary colonial records, newspapers, diaries, oral evidence, and archival material, while addressing gaps in official documentation. Henry Reynolds, The Other Side of the Frontier. Aboriginal Resistance to the European Invasion of Australia, 1981, revised editions. Henry Reynolds, Forgotten War, 2013 and later editions. Bain Atwood and S.G. Foster, eds. Frontier Conflict, The Australian Experience, 2003, National Museum of Australia. Bruce Elder, Blood on the Wattle. Massacres and Maltreatment of Aboriginal Australians since 1788, 1998, updated editions. And John Connor, The Australian Frontier Wars 1788 to 1838, 2002. These publications, particularly Reynolds' two books and the Atwood and Foster collection, are among the main national scope works that systematically respond to demands for named examples, primary source citations, and analysis of what the surviving documentation does and does not prove regarding frontier violence and dispossession. They form the core of the evidence-based replies to the type of questions Troy raise. And regarding Aboriginal people serving in wars with other countries, military records held by the Australian War Memorial and publications on Indigenous enlistment document service during times of heavy discriminatory policies. And finally, Troy's last question is his most bizarre. How are we ignoring this despite extensive documentations? With the answer being the very post he made and that we are responding to. So, thanks for the questions, Troy, as while they at first appear as a huge waste of time, they are actually a very good insight into the extreme uphill battle we have against most Australians. We will see everyone again on the next episode of We Answer the Same Question for the 12th time. Until then.